Yeah, you are seeing right. There is a Sengoku Basara game that was developed by Arc System Works. And by now we all know they developed the much beloved Guilty Gear franchise. So when it comes to fighting games, Arc Sys are the ones to ask. Well, mostly. Maybe not always. Of course Capcom was still the publisher, and don't worry, this is the only Sengoku Basara game that is a pure fighter. After this one, the franchise will return to being the usual Musou genre it has always been. The game actually started as an arcade game in 2008, but then it was ported for the almighty PlayStation 2, and nothing else. So yes, you could say that this game is a PlayStation 2 and even Japan exclusive. Like most Sengoku Basara games are PlayStation and Japan exclusive. So here you pick one of these characters and start fighting around. If you are familiar with Guilty Gear games and know how they work, then you might feel at home here. Just don't mind me and my gameplay, I just suck at fighting games. But hey, it's Sengoku Basara, so I had to do it at some point anyway. The usual characters that we all know are here: Date Masamune, Sanada Yukimura, Oda Nobunaga, etc. And while the roster itself is fine, considering the roster of the previous games, 2 games, well technically 3, Sengoku Basara, Basara 2 and Basara 2 Heroes, I really don't understand why there aren't many more playable characters. I mean, technically there are more characters because almost everyone has some kind of backup support, I guess, that you can call from time to time to help you out, but that's about it. For example, in the case of Date Masamune, his backup is, well, of course, Katakura Kojiro, and in this instant it's actually fine because Katakura Kojiro himself is also playable and Date Masamune is then his backup. Similar goes for Toyotomi Hideyoshi and Takenaka Hanbei. Sadly, you won't be able to play as, for example, Kasuga, Sarutobi Sasuke, Matsu, Tokugawa Ieyasu, etc. And that's quite a shame actually. No, you can't even unlock them because there are no characters in the game that can be unlocked at all. All the characters you are seeing here are all you get. I would somewhat understand the small roster if the game had way more content or had better quality, but that's exactly the problem actually. It doesn't have anywhere near enough content, and the quality in a specific area I will get to is just bad. The opening is traditionally animated and that's always what I prefer to see, so kudos there. Yes, it looks and sounds cool as usual. Fun fact, TM Revolution is singing for the opening and the song is called Crosswise. This was one of the very first songs I've ever heard from him way back then. Sadly though, the ending song is also crosswise instead of something different for some reason. But hey, at least the visuals are kind of dynamic, matching the beat of the song, and that's cool. After the starting screen where the Japanese dude says the title in English instead of the typical English that I would have preferred myself, these are the modes you have. Arcade, which should be obvious, defeat 8 opponents and you unlock a small biography of some kind of the character you used and some very small stuff. Sure, yes, this small stuff is typical for the franchise, but if this is all the game has to offer, then this is very bare bones. Versus second player as well, versus CPU should be obvious as well. Training, which, well, again, should be obvious what this is, right? And if you are shit at fighting games like me, then this mode might be a must. Challenge, where you fight all characters the gallery with the small stuff I mentioned previously, like the character biography and such, options, and for some reason an exit. You know, because you really needed this function in the game. After all, it's way too difficult just to turn the console off. Yeah, this is all you can play in the game. Yeah, and quite literally all. Again, no significant unlocks at all on top of it. From what I understand, the arcade version of this game did not have Katakura Kojiro and Takenaka Hanbei in the roster, so these two were added to the PlayStation 2 version, which is cool. But why are they unlocked from the very start? And again, why not add more unlockable characters on top of it? This is very weird. Now, the fighting itself is fast and furious, and this might appeal to some but repel others. I can take it or leave it really, but this is mainly because, as stated before, I simply suck at fighting games. And in the case of this franchise, I still don't understand why it needed a fighting entry at all. But well, it's fine. This is your HP bar, this is your defense bar, and you lose it when you defend from enemy attacks. This number that raises gradually is attached to your support character, and that means the higher the number, the more often they will attack if you summon them. However, once called, they will need a cooldown period. Once this bar fills up once, then one ball will be added, and one ball means one Basara move you can use. This ball fills up the more you attack, and once full, you can use your ultimate attack that does devastating damage. Every character has 2 Basara moves and 1 ultimate, and despite all characters having different standard moves and mostly having different button combinations for those moves, all Basara moves and ultimate work exactly the same way for each fighter. Down forward circle, down back circle, and activating ultimate by pressing square, triangle and circle at the same time, then down back down forward circle. These 3 moves are all the same for all characters. Why? But hey, at least it's easier for an idiot like me to pull off moves, so yeah, maybe I should just shut up. Once again, the game is fast and furious. The colors and animations are quite nice, and each character has some unique moves only they can pull off, like Tadakatsu Honda being able to fly, or Mori Motonari being able to place traps all over the place. Yes, these are traps that can and will damage you, especially when he does one of his Basara moves. This kind of uniqueness in the characters is what makes this game actually quite nice. Arc System Works took each character's personality, fighting style and natural abilities into consideration, and they reflect all of it in the game. Heck, even the background. If you've played the previous games, then you know these backgrounds well. They are nicely animated, and the game as a whole pays respect to the franchise. So Arc System Works did a marvelous job there. If only they added more stuff to the game to make it more complete and worth owning, because if you are not a Sengoku Basara fighting game, or maybe even Arc System Works fan, then this game is not for you. Heck, even considering the fact that the franchise is a Musou franchise and suddenly this is a fighter, well, I can see many fans of the franchise refusing to play this game on principle in a way. But if you still give it a chance, then this game is actually quite fine. A bit bare bones, but still fine. However, one thing that is kind of disastrous is the sound. Outside of the song by TM Revolution that has high quality, the rest of the game sounds very muffled, and the volume was turned down for some reason. And I am not talking about the songs themselves, which are quite good and fit every character nicely. I am only talking about the sound quality here. I will play the opening for a few seconds, but then listen closely to the sound while I am fighting. And no, I didn't change anything. Did you listen to that? I have no idea why this had to be a thing in the first place. I thought my copy of the game is damaged in some way or something, but seemingly it's the game that's like this, because everybody that played it complained about the exact same thing. This is really bizarre, and if I remember correctly, even this Hokuto no Ken game developed by Arc System Works as well had a similar problem, which is very weird. So I would say that this game is mainly for those that love fighting, especially Guilty Gear style. But even then, I could bet it won't keep those people playing for long because of the lack of content, any kind of significant unlocks, lack of modes, no real story mode, etc. And yes, that's quite a shame, but as stated, the franchise never went back to being a fighter ever again. Which is a good thing, since this isn't what Sengoku Basara is supposed to be in the first place. Still, it's kind of nice that they've tried, and it turned out quite fine, but it could have been a lot better. But hey, at least it has a sweet ass collector's edition, and here it is. It's not the only collector's limited or special edition games from the franchise have, but for some reason this is the very first edition Sengoku Basara ever received.
突っ走るのもいいさ。でもよ、恋も忘れるなよ、伊達男。ルーズ。